Crochet can be used to make all sorts of things. Cozy clothing, cute plushies, and even practical items. But have you considered that it could be used for other things? Like pranks? I pulled a silly prank on my friend and I want to bring you along for the journey. But first, we need to go back in time to when I packed my bags because this prank took place on vacation. When I go on vacation, I like to challenge my crochet self. Instead of bringing a suitcase full of a bunch of crochet materials and skeins and all of the works, because quite frankly, I can't do that, I challenge myself to bring just 1 or 2 random skeins of yarn. Random skeins are the key because that's the challenge. At any point throughout the trip, I have to come up with a crochet project that uses those random skeins. And for this trip in particular, I brought 2 green skeins of acrylic yarn and 1 of cotton for variety. And now it's time to fly to our destination. We landed so late that night and a good friend of ours so graciously came and picked us up. She provided us snacks, let us stay at her house, and she even stayed up so late with us to catch up before we all had to catch some Z's. And little did we know that in that moment, she would become the subject of the most awesome and harmless crochet prank of all time, invented by me in this particular moment and on this particular vacation and in this specific way. Anna, that literally means this one prank. Exactly. The next day, we thanked her for her hospitality and continued on our way. And it wasn't a total goodbye because we'd planned to visit her again at the end of our trip on our way back. And it was at our next destination that the prank materialized. I pulled out my yarn and I immediately reached for my cotton skein. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I love making practical projects, and that includes dishcloths. And I knew that that was gonna be easier than coming up with an entire challenge. I know, this is a complete cop-out, but I learned a new stitch for it, so that's how I justified it in my brain. But I know that that is still cheating, and maybe this was self-sabotage, but I did not enjoy making that dishcloth whatsoever. But I still wanted to crochet, so I knew that I needed to tackle this challenge with my other skeins. I took a long, hard look at these 2 skeins when I thought of these. With just a few extra supplies, I could crochet frogs. All I need to do to complete the challenge is find something to do with these skeins, and this works perfect. I was all ready and excited to get started with this project when I got to thinking, what if I didn't make just 1 frog? I mean, I have 2 full skeins of green yarn here. What if I created as many as I could out of these? I wonder how many that would make. And what if instead of just having a bunch of frogs, what if I did something with them? I mean, I am visiting that good friend again, and she loves frogs. I could scatter them all around her house and see how long it takes her to find them. I believe that pranks should be fun for the person you're pranking, and honestly, I think she would love this. The ultimate crochet prank of this vacation was born, and it was time to get started. I needed a few supplies to make this prank possible. I'm not gonna buy myself a whole suitcase of supplies when I didn't let myself travel with it in the first place. All I needed to make this prank possible was some safety eyes, some polyfill, and just a little bit of black yarn. Because of the generosity of a local crochet bestie of mine, she gave me some of her polyfill, so I only needed to get those safety eyes and the black yarn. Both of those materials are so small, and I was gonna use up most, if not all of them before I went back, that I argued that this fit within the challenge. It was time to get the materials. The first store did not have what I needed, so take 2. The second store, though, had the goods and a few extras. Score! I mean, how can you not leave the craft store without a few extras? I mean, with all of the supplies in hand, it was time to crochet. Cue the montage. I was able to crochet 8 frogs out of all of the supplies that I had, it might not be the army that I was exactly thinking it would be, but it is still mighty nonetheless. With the frogs ready, I bided my time until it was meet the friend again. After what felt like weeks of waiting, the day finally arrived. I couldn't be more excited and nervous. I had so many thoughts running through my brain. I know she loves frogs, but what if she doesn't like this? What if she doesn't think this is funny? What if the frog booties are too bootylicious? I wouldn't know until the prank began. She and her significant other worked it out so that he would come meet us at the house to hang out there until she was off of work. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is already slotting right into place. We'd have just enough time to stash all of the frogs around her house before she even got home. It was in that moment that I let her SO in on the prank and we unleashed the frogs across her home. We placed them in plain sight, others in trickier hiding places, and just like that, the prank was set. In no time, 4 wheels and a familiar face rolled up to the home, and my heart was pounding. I do not have a poker face, but maintaining my composure was crucial for this prank. I pretended to be busy as my friend walked right through the front door and past the first frog. And my efforts did not matter because, hey, cute frog. All right. She found the first frog within seconds of being in her home, but that's cool. There are still so many more to find. And that one was, quite frankly, in plain sight. I tried to play it off as if it was nothing to not bring about any suspicions and just said, oh, thanks. And little did she know that 7 more frogs awaited. She continues on her way into her home, through her living room and into her dining room when... Why is this turned around? Oh, that's adorable. I continued on as normally as I could. I was having so much fun, and although I could tell my friend was a little confused, she seemed to be having fun too. Score! That evening we had planned an outing together, and while we were getting ready, the next frog was found. Hey Anna. Yeah? I found another frog. Oh yeah? Yeah, in the game cabinet. At this moment, I could tell she was catching on. She knew there were frogs hidden around her home and she was determined to find them. What started out as a silly prank quickly turned into an epic frog scavenger hunt. We went on our outing and had a blast with really great conversation. When we got back to her home, it was sadly time for us to depart. She hadn't found all of the frogs yet, so as nonchalantly as I could, I just said, let me know if you happen to find any more frogs. That same evening, we got a very enthusiastic text saying that she had found the 4th frog while eating a late dinner. And not 30 minutes later, the 5th frog was found. They were dropping like flies. Until they weren't. For 2 days, we hadn't heard of any new frog findings. On the 4th day of this prank, I got a buzz on my phone of an excited text. My friend had found 2 more frogs. There was only 1 frog left to find in this prank, but my friend didn't know that. Where was this frog? Make your guess in 3, 2, 1. The final frog was hidden in her winter coat pocket. We were so excited about this hiding place because at this point, winter was months away. But alas, our hopes were squashed because 2 days later, we received a text. She had found the last frog. So over the span of 5 days, this prank turned scavenger hunt concluded. It was over way quicker than I ever imagined, but the result, it was full of fun and joy and laughter, and it was such a great way to stay connected with long distance friends. So all in all, I'd say this was a huge success. So to my beautiful and fun friend, I hope that you enjoyed this curated experience and have found a use for your newly adopted 8 frogs. And Netcrafters is how I pulled a crochet prank. So the next time you go out of town or maybe on vacation, maybe you'll consider challenging yourself by bringing just a skein or 2. And who knows what it might turn into. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next craft. See you later, Craftigator!